This is Northport Now, where we bring you everything happening in and around our city. From the 4th of July to the future of Warm Mineral Springs Park, we've got you covered. Here's what you need to know this week. Join the city of Northport as we celebrate America's 250th birthday at our annual Freedom Festival, presented by Dragonfly Dental. This milestone Independence Day event brings the community together for an unforgettable evening filled with energy, tradition, and patriotic pride, complete with family-friendly activities, great vendors, delicious food, and a spectacular fireworks finale. The celebration takes place Saturday, July 4th, beginning at 6 p.m. at CoolToday Park. This year's ceremonies will feature a thrilling flyover from the Gulf Coast Raptors formation flight team. On the front event lawn, enjoy the patriotic play zone with bounce houses, lawn games, music, and more. Inside the stadium, check out a vibrant mix of vendors and community organizations, plus live music from Dukes of Brinkley throughout the night. It's all capped off with a spectacular fireworks show. Learn more at northportfl.gov/Freedom Festival, and we'll see you on the 4th. Northport Fire Rescue responded to 2 large brush fires this past week at Myakka State Forest and Orange Hammock Preserve. Smoke and falling ash were visible in several parts of the city as our crews joined others from around the area to battle these fires. Conditions remain extremely dry in our area, and the city of Northport remains under an outdoor burn ban. That means no bonfires, campfires, or yard debris burning until further notice. Grills are allowed, but please use extreme caution. Fire pits and cooking pits are not permitted. You can help us protect our community. If you see illegal burning, report it to Northport Fire Rescue at 941-240-8150 or call 911 in an emergency. All week, the city has been observing Lightning Safety Awareness Week. It's an opportunity to remind everyone about the danger lightning imposes and how we can prevent lightning-related fatalities. Here are some lightning safety basics to keep in mind. Monitor weather conditions and get to a safe place before the weather becomes threatening. When inside, don't touch anything that is plugged into an electrical outlet, plumbing, and corded phones. Wait 30 minutes until after the last lightning strike or thunder before going back outside. Remember, when thunder roars, go indoors. Find more resources for weather safety at northportfl.gov/hazards we face. It's time for more commission meeting highlights, where City Manager Jerome Fletcher takes us through the latest City Commission decisions and what they mean for the public. Here to tell us more about the Commission's recent meetings is City Manager Jerome Fletcher. Jerome, thanks for being here.
Jason, thanks for having me.
All right, so the Commission was very busy on June 23rd. One of the things they did was to set the not-to-exceed rates for the Fire Rescue District, Solid Waste, and Road and Drainage for next year. What can you tell us about those assessments and how they factor into the overall picture of the budget for next year?
Absolutely. The first thing I would like to say is people need to remember that it says not to exceed those rates. So those are not the rates that are being adopted. That is the ceiling of those rates. And it could be closer to the floor, and some of those will change. They all will change, and none of them will be at the ceiling of those rates. And those rates help the different services that, based on which fund and district they're related to, provide services to the city. So when you hear a comment that says, well, you as a city say that you're keeping your millage rate the same, but you're raising other taxes and fees, that is what government and balancing a budget looks like. There are dozens of fees or taxes that are not just your millage rate. The reason why we hone in on the millage rate being the same is because it's the biggest rate of a tax that people can actually relate to. But there are all kinds of decisions that go into these district and not to exceed rates that we need for fire and road and drainage and everyone else to make sure that your city functions properly.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. And there's going to be a lot more discussion about the budget in the next coming weeks and months. So,
absolutely.
Another big decision at the meeting was about the future of Warm Mineral Springs Park.
Yes.
And it sounds like we have maybe some final direction about what's happening with the buildings there. So what can you tell us?
So first of all, congratulations to Director Funheller and her team for all the work they've put into in order to get us to this point. I know it's been many years and it's been a journey, but the commission, when they voted to restore that property, they have been consistent in moving forward with that for the last year or so. And what that means is that as we get closer to it, we have to make sure that we have the money to pay for it. And when we went out to bid for the project, it came in over, $4 million of what we had budgeted for it. So we had to go find that money, and then we did, and the commission agreed to making sure that the project moves forward. It's a huge win for Warm Mill Springs and the city of Northport. And I think all those who enjoy and care about Warm Mill Springs overall, I think it's a gem for our city. And I'm glad that it's finally getting the attention that it deserves.
I know something you've been talking about since you got here, and it was talked about well before that. So it's got to be a big relief for a lot of people that care about the Springs.
Yes. We were really about to put a shovel in the ground here pretty soon. But from my standpoint, when I got here, it was the first year, my year anniversary when Hurricane Ian hit, and then the buildings were even damaged more than they were before the lack of repair that we gave them before Ian came. And, since then, which was, I guess that was September of 22 that Ian hit. Mm-hmm. So we're talking almost 4 years since then. Wow, time flies. So now we're talking about nearly 4 years. Now we're actually addressing what we should have done and something that should have been done long before Hurricane Ian hit. So we should all be happy that this is moving forward.
Yeah, very exciting. Mm-hmm. Lastly, there was a lot of good discussion at the commission meeting about their budget, their benefits as commissioners, and whether the job of commissioner is a part-time or a full-time job. What can you share with us a little more about that conversation?
Yes, this job may have been a part-time job when the city was smaller in population and or needs and requirements of our elected officials. Since I've been here, I've consistently said, and even when I was a part of the process of raising the salaries up, it is a full-time job. There is no doubt and no question. Now, you can look and say how many city official meetings that you have to attend and say it's 10 to 15 hours a week. And then the preparation for those meetings, as well as other times that you add in with constituents in your office, outside of your office, in the community, on your phone. I mean, it doesn't matter. They never turn it off. They're always on. Even if you can't reach them, they are doing something somewhere, and it is reflective in their visibility throughout our community and representing us in other places, whether it's at the state level, whether it's at other peer cities in our jurisdiction. It is a full-time job. I hope that everyone sees and understands that, and it should receive the credit. And just because it looks easy to the outside doesn't mean it's easy for them to do. And they make a lot of tough choices, a lot of tough decisions, and they are responsible for leading the vision of our city long-term, and that is not an easy task. So to be clear, everyone should understand that it's a full-time job, no matter how the commissioners do it differently, because they all have their own different styles and techniques. But for it to be a full-time job should not ever be in question. Yeah.
Jerome, thank you for being here. Thanks for clearing that up. And we look forward to talking to you more after the next commission meeting.
Yes, sir. My pleasure.
And you can visit northportfl.gov/meetings to view the agendas for upcoming meetings or watch videos of any of the meetings you missed. And we'll bring you more highlights after the next meeting next month. Thanks for tuning in to Northport Now. Be sure to check out the show notes for links and more details on everything we covered today. Have a great week, Northport. And don't forget to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay connected.